Morning and welcome back to the series where I learn to play with and develop a Nurgle team. And this week I'm playing against humans. You may notice that this is actually an AI team, so there are an odd number of coaches in this league, 13 coaches. So we have an AI team in to make up the numbers. And the draw actually came at quite a good time for me, I think, because I was struggling to get off the ground with this team a bit. I've had a defeat and a draw so far, and another defeat. I forgot about the third game. So yeah, 2 defeats and a draw so far in the 3 proper games. So that playing an AI team was a sort of nice timing, I think, to help me get going a bit more. Now the AI in Blood Bowl 2 is not great. It's not challenging once you know what you're doing with the game. And having already played Blood Bowl on tabletop for about probably 20 years before I ever played Blood Bowl 2, I've never lost to the AI, which isn't a massive boast. I'm sure there are many thousands of people who've never lost to the AI. But even on the hardest difficulty, it just doesn't really provide that great a challenge. So I was seeing it as a great opportunity to get a win, first of all, to get me up and running with wins in the league. And that gives you a better chance to get better winnings because you get your reroll and stuff, and also a good chance to look at developing players and choosing who you're going to level. It gives you a bit more flexibility in trying to do that. Against a human coach who's going to be better, it's going to be more difficult to specifically do that. And I had two pestigores, keep saying beastmen. I had 2 pestigores I specifically wanted to level. So at the end of the last match, I'd got a pestigore up to 3 points and said, yeah, I want this pestigore to score next game, so they'll level. I also had a pestigore get the MVP that last game, to go from 0 to 5 points. So I had two pestigores I wanted to level. If I could score a touchdown with each of those, great, that's 2 levels out of the game, and it should be an easy win. Obviously, I'm not going to say all of that and then show you a video where I lose to the AI. So there's a bit of a lack of suspense in that I do with it. Doesn't all go exactly as I want, actually, because of some solid play from the AI in defence, making it quite difficult for me to score as many touchdowns as I wanted to. Just one highlight of this team really is the 4 blitzers, all with guard, 3 with mighty blow as well. So they're going to be the challenging players to look out for, potentially dangerous as well for removing with mighty blow. But we'll just get in and we'll come back after the kickoff and look properly at the lineups. Okay, so here we are, just as kickoff's about to happen. Humans won the toss, decided to receive. So I'm kicking down here. Inducements wise, so they were, I think, about getting on for 240, 250 ahead of me or something, or was it 140, 150? I don't remember. But anyway, they spent 100k then on an extra reroll just for the game to take them up to 6. One of those sort of AI decisions a human coach probably wouldn't make, spending all that from their treasury to just give me more in inducements. I played fairly safe in my inducements. I'm gonna have to unpause it, I think, to look at them. Here we go. No, it's not letting me do it while it's paused. So we're going to have to see the kick. But yeah, I played fairly safe. I took an Igor because I really didn't want to lose a player. So Igor gives you, it's what sort of not apothecary teams can take instead of a wandering apothecary. It gives you a reroll on a regeneration roll. Didn't want to have a player die and have to replace them, so took that. And I think, I can't see it here, but I took an extra training reroll. Because rerolls are useful for Nurgle teams, as I keep saying. And what was the other thing? And just a keg, I think. So I spent 250 on inducements anyway. Quick look at the team. So I got Wrestle Pestigore over here. This is quite a familiar sort of starting lineup to what I'd usually do. Unleveled Warrior over here. Unleveled Pestigores. So these are the ones on 5 and 3 points who I'm looking to score touchdowns with in this game. So they're in here to look at. Against an AI, I'm quite confident of turning the ball over and scoring on them when they're attacking. 2 block warriors in here, one on 14, one on 10 points. So this one's getting quite close to leveling. The 3 rotters here, I think, just wrestle one in the middle, and the other 2 not even any star player points. Another block warrior over here, and a block pestigore over here, who I'm looking at blitzing with probably most turns. Lyman over here, unlevelled. One of those guard blitzers, one with Mighty Blow as well. So that's this wing over here. This wing's quite similar, I think. So we've got, unlevelled Lyman, guard Mighty Blow blitzer. So they're both in the wings. 2 guard blitzers in the middle with another Lyman. So this is a slow, tough Lyman with block. And then there are 2 catchers on the line of scrimmage as well. So block and fend on that one. And no levels on that one. They're probably there just to give assists, I guess, at the moment, although I could have set them up better to get 2 dice blocks on all my rotters. 2 throws at the back, no levels, and their bench is just, I think, 3 linemen. So 1 with block, and a catcher. 2 linemen with block and a catcher on their bench. Let it go, and we'll get through this game. I was considering not, because this was a game against the AI, I was considering not looking back at it at all, but I think it's still, first sense of completion for the series, it's something still to do. So 2 throwers on the pitch, both have sure hands. Neither of them have gone to pick the ball up. I think I've been frustrated by AI decisions so much playing this game, and then they have to use a team reroll to get the lineman to pick the ball up, where the thrower would have had a free reroll. I think enjoy highlighting all the mistakes that the AI coach makes, because they're just not very good, and I hope when they update this game that they make it a bit more challenging with some of the decision making, even down to the way they set up their line of scrimmage. They could have taken 3 blocks on those rotters with 2 dice each. They said they'd left one standing and used their blitz not to engage anyone else. It's all, it's watching the AI play is a good way to learn how to not play Blood Bowl, because you can spot all these mistakes and never replicate them. Nice early injury of my first block, and that's a guard Mighty Blow blitzer who followed up into my block warrior. So great start for me, already outnumbering the team, and as I've seen in other matches, when I'm down on players with the team I really struggle, so getting that sort of numbers advantage early on is really helpful. And all I'm really doing is trying to make sure they can't get a scoring threat free, and then looking at getting pressure on the ball. So I've got my piss scorer I want to blitz with. He's going to go and have a go up here, and he can follow up into the ball carrier. Now against a decent human coach, he'd be vulnerable to being pushed off the pitch next turn. I think that's less likely against the AI, although I might look really stupid now and it happens anyway, but basically I wouldn't be leaving him standing there against a human coach, I don't think. Although they are having a good go at that. Okay, so human coach would probably have pushed back there, then maybe use the ball carrier to get rid of that Pestigor. There'd be no rush for them to try and score. Instead they're trying to dodge away with the ball. And does get it a bit safer. But that lineman's had to use 2 team rerolls already on 3+ rolls. The first one should have been an action that a thrower was taking. I need to look at my own team as well a bit, actually. Right, so I need to move him over here, try and get my Pestigor free. So I don't want him being shoved off the pitch, so I'm piling assists on here to, at least if I stand this Pestigor up, make sure it's going to be an uphill block, so it's risky for them. I think the human team in this do make a lot of uphill blocks in this game. But there's 2 isolated players I can pick on, hopefully get some more removals. And the more bodies I have over here, the more chance I have of the pushes taking them off the pitch. But do need to make sure I'm defended solidly here as well. I've got my Wrestle Pestigor in deep to look for maybe a catcher coming through. If there's a handoff to a catcher, the catcher can maybe get through, but then he's vulnerable to a Wrestle Beastman. I'll just use my blitz over there to make sure I can get my valuable block Pestigor away from the touchline. And I think I may even leave this one on the floor. Yeah, not really a way through for the humans there. Yeah, I do leave them on the floor. The AI never fouls, so it's not a danger leaving someone laying on the floor for a turn. They're safer laying on the floor than they are standing up next to the touchline. So it's a lead-off uphill block that they got lucky with. But yeah, the first action they took in the turn was 2 dice uphill and then another one. And yeah, both of them worked out fine for them. But yeah, that was a 2 dice they choose, much safer. So should have been doing first. And yeah, forcing them to block with the ball carrier holds their attack up, and I've got players in amongst the players around the ball now. So at this point, I'm feeling like it's just a matter of time before I knock the ball loose and run through to score. And I'm looking at my 2 pestigores I want to score. So there's one there. Other one I think is over here against the touchline. So this is probably the guy I want to be looking at trying to score with, unless I can get this one free. Okay, so shove back there means this pestigore can now stand up in peace without being shoved off the pitch, and I'll go for a dodge. I still had rerolls available, so I just took the chance to get him away from the touchline. So that's that rotter freed up to come and help out over here. I've got 3 on 2 over here, and I've got a strength 4 player. Had a 1 dice on the ball carrier on, so took it. That was with my my wrestle guy. So really it's 1 in 2 that lineman was going down. Both down would have been fine for me. Well, I wouldn't have caused a turnover, but I may have... nah, I probably would have wrestled. My guy would be down either way. Might as well not risk the injury. So same lineman stands up, dodges, picks the ball up. You quite often see the AI doing things like that as well, like using their blitz when they just don't need to. That was just a block, and it means they don't get to try and use their blitz anywhere else. This guy could have been free to come and throw a blitz there. So with this team, I'm often looking at first actions I'm doing. My block warriors, it's my safest blocks because they're almost always going to be 2 dice. They've got block, and that's another removal there, another blitzer. So that's another guard player off the pitch, and it's making it really hard for them to keep going. Wanted to make sure I could throw that guy in there for another assist because I've got a block on the ball carrier here. But I think there's a guard blitzer in here, so it's going to be 1 dice if I can get that assist in. Something I like to try and do with guard players as I can is to sort of try isolating them a bit, so if they're not standing next to other players there's sort of less chance they can use their assist. I mean, this lineman does have a 1 dice on my warrior here because of his assist, but the further I can get him away from the rest of the team, the less useful guard's going to be. So do wrestle down the ball carrier again, so that's that same lineman who's now dropped the ball twice to this pestigore, who I am starting to build as a sacker, so he's doing his job exactly right, making sure they drop the ball. I think this is going to be another blitz, which didn't need to be a blitz. That was just a block. They don't even. It could have stayed there removed, but the AI doesn't even do that. Yeah, it can still be fun playing against the AI in the league and developing a team through it, but it's not challenging, not at all. So I'm pushing the ball further and further back. I've got 4 players between the ball carrier and the rest of the human team here. And I don't usually play this aggressively defending against a human coach because they would just work around this and prioritise moving the ball to exploit all the space I'd left back here. So this kind of defensive, like really aggressive defensive play, is something you can only really do against the AI, unless there are some like big mistakes happening or you're really outnumbering them. But here, so I've got the ball loose, and I'm just going to look at standing as many players around it as I can, while I get one of my pestigores who I want to score into position to come get the ball, run it over the line, and I think that is this one. So this 5-star player point 1 is who I'm looking at scoring in a turn or two, probably 2 turns from now. And if I get 3 tackle zones on the ball, player closest to the ball is thoroughly marked up. Balls should definitely be safe for another turn. So went after the more dangerous blitzer, 3rd blitzer with guard off the pitch. But didn't follow up because I wanted to make sure this guy stay marked, because he's the only one who can come over and challenge my sort of net around the ball here. Also had this rotter freed up because I've cleared one of those players off the pitch. I can just bully this lineman with this warrior now until he's off the pitch, or the drive ends, which I think is what happened. So having to blitz with a catcher, only getting 1 dice. Does get my pestigore down. And that's a stun as well, so I'll be missing my my best blitzer next turn. And they're having to dodge to come get pressure on here. But they've got no tackle zones on the ball. But I want to be able to clear this guy off, so I'm moving that guard assist away from my pestigore, and I can move that lineman away from the ball, leave this pestigore free to come collect. Have a reroll available, but don't need it this time. So often do with I've found with my chaos team, beastmen are not the most reliable ball collectors. Unfortunately don't have any more players to screen available because I don't want to have to dodge with this rotter, and I think I might try, and I might, and I do make some less than ideal positioning if I do. I think I do move him over here. First coming down to put another tackle zone on this blitzer. That's my warrior with no star player points. And so I do dodge with the rotter there. I think actually over here would have been a better position because the only threat I've really got to the ball here is this blitzer, who I think can come in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go for it. Yeah. So there is a dodge, 2 go for it, and a 1 dice blitz from this blitzer to watch. And if I'd spotted that earlier, this rotter should have gone over here to make it a longer way round or more dodges. Because I do leave that blitz on, and I think they take it and knock this guy down this turn. So I'm sort of forcing him to make riskiest plays that I can, but in this instance they do manage to get the the block on, and actually this catcher might even make that. No, it doesn't make that an assist because the rotter's stopping it. Oh no, it was the blitz came from there. This was a few days ago now, so I was forgetting exactly what happened. I thought it was that blitzer, but yeah, catcher came uphill, blocked my ball carrier down. So I keep having uphill blocks go all right for them, and there you go. So he's still the human's attack. So, but I want to be scoring. I've got 2 turns. Need to get this catcher down. I think I've only really got a rotter who can go for it, unless I'm dodging. I think I'm looking at dodging with my Saka. Yeah, because I remember making the mistake here of taking that blitzer on when it should have been that catcher to free up my Saka pestigore to go blitz the catcher. And yeah, dodge keeps him on his feet. So I've got one more turn to make sure I can go get that catcher down. And then I'll have my player who I want to score will be available. But I have to knock the catcher over. Rot, I should probably have come in there to shut that catcher down. That's a bit of a waste. Although it is another player in scoring position if I really need him, I suppose. Probably was more my thinking. So this awkwardly positioned player down there who's potentially going to be in my way. But I didn't dodge the catcher away. And I can wrestle him down. So, what this guy, I'm not standing this guy up because I wanted to pick the ball up and score with it. Push is good enough from you and the Rotter. And now I've got the Pestigore to come in, score with the last action of the half. Need the reroll to get the ball, and do you get it? So close stuff there. Was a foul pickup away from not scoring in that half. But that is half time, and I've scored when kicking as well, which keeps coming up in these and in other videos I've done. Yeah, when you kick and score and you're leading at half time, you're in a great position to hold the game, because I'm now receiving the ball with a chance to go 2 up. There's some bad recovering from knockout rolls. 3, I think that's left the humans on 11 players. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. So they have 5 players on the line of scrimmage, which is risky when you're defending. Means there's more players for me to hit. I'll be looking at hitting all 5 of those players. Also on a blitz, there are a few players who can act, so I could have freed up 2 more players by just shoving them back a bit. I think there is a blitz in this game, not here. I think one comes up later. No, it can't do. No, there must not be a blitz in this game. Yeah, it finishes 1-0. I managed to not score on this drive. So this is my player who I want to score with. He was a go for it away from reaching the ball, so I'm just going to make it safe this turn. Pick it up next turn, and then begin running through. And yeah, this is the drive, but this is the last drive of the game now. And even though it's an AI coach, there was some actually pretty solid defence put up, and it was frustrating trying to get the ball over the line. But I do want to see if I could have done anything better with my attack to limit that. Sure, there's still an error or 2, and I think playing against the AI as well, I had a bit of complacency probably in how easy it was going to be. Because really, I wanted a 2-0 win. I wanted both of those Pestigores to score and level up from the game, but they didn't. And yeah, I think you've got to be beating the AI by more than 1 touchdown. But even in my first 3 games with this team against the AI, where I had those warm-up games, they were all 1-0 wins. It was the beginning of me realising how tricky this team could be to score with. So yeah, I've made the ball very safe. There's no getting out from the humans. Only got 2 of the 5 from the line of scrimmage down. The rest are just pushed back, so I'm just edging forwards with them. Looking at, well, I used my blitz to try and get the catcher down. Didn't manage it. And now I've got another player pinned against the touchline. But this Pestigore is now taking 3 defending players out of the game. So I'm just going to leave him laying on the floor next turn, knowing that the AI isn't going to foul this Beastman, this Pestigore. I can just leave him laying there. He's taking 3 players out of the game. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I could have pushed sideways there and let this warrior have a go at this lineman as well, but I didn't for some reason. Unless I specifically wanted to make sure I took this thrower's assist out. I'm not sure what I was doing. Some blitz there. So targeting those blitzers again, getting 3 of them off the pitch in the first half was useful. And it did move that guard away, so to make sure I had the 2 dice there. So made sure I had a reroll and went and grabbed the ball with that. This is looking the weaker side, and also because I'm not going to be doing anything about these 3 players, I want to keep away from them. They're all free to move, and there's a catcher in there as well who's quick. So to make sure I shielded this side of my my ball carrier. And actually now taking that one down. Yeah, that was really weird. They made that 1 block there. I just stood the rotter back up again afterwards. That ended their turn. I don't know why they didn't do anything else there. Players free to move over here. Another one here. But yeah, just nothing else. That was it. That was a really abrupt turn. And yeah, no idea why it would have done that. There's plenty that could have been done still. I just remembered something and I wanted to check the fame in the game, but yeah, I did have 2 fame, which was useful for winnings, it turned out. So I'm making a nice space here, because the humans are kind of scattered to the wings a bit. I had a nice space here to come and get into. And this rotter can go fill that gap. Or that one there, rather. But yeah, this human shouldn't be able to do anything about the ball carrier. Yeah, it's risky dodges to try and do anything with it. And then an uphill block, so I guess I felt that corner was safe enough. Still had that Pestigor laying down, but only the 2 of the players were free to move at that point. Sliman does now have a clearer dodge out to perhaps there and then there to get a tackle zone on my ball carrier. And I would be standing next to a block warrior to do that. Not necessarily the most intelligent thing it could do. And here, used a catcher to make that block, where it was 1 dice, had to use a reroll. The blitzer could have done this first time. The blitzer could have made that block. 2 dice with block, much safer. So ball carrier is free to move down into this area. From here it looks unfathomable that I don't score. I'm really disappointed I didn't manage to do that. Knock out there on it's a block lineman. And yeah, make sure that catcher can't get through. Ball down here. Now I think an error I do is that I quite evenly protect the ball carrier here, where really I should be looking at just protecting from these players, because there's not a threat from here really, because that's sort of stupid dodges to get through there. Yeah, this Pestigor should be over here, screening this side a bit more. I think this is where I leave this blitzer available to come and 1 dice my ball carrier down. I think that's what I was misremembering first half. So this catcher should still be going nowhere. I mean, it does have an easy dodge out and then around, but that's too long a way around, I think. Unless I'm misremembering again, and it was another catcher on the sprint. But I was pretty sure it's this blitzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go for it, yeah. There we go, yeah, this is it. So, successful dodge, 2 successful go for it's, and 1 dice down to a stun. And then we've got a catcher all the way to the ball. And I think I actually spend the rest of the game trying to get the ball off of this catcher. And just can't get him down. I think I get a block on every turn and just can't get it. I think block, dodge and fend as a combo on someone who's holding the ball can make it tricky. I think I just didn't manage to get it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Now the rest of the game is can I get the ball off this catcher and get it over the line, and I just can't. There's a death. So yeah, dead thrower. Which should be a free rotter for my team, but there was a bit of a glitch in the game and it never showed up, which is a real shame. There's another glitch at the end as well, where you do the roll for the winnings and then you get the option to re-roll and stuff. That didn't come up for me either, but I think I must have rolled a 6 because I had like 90,000 in winnings for this game, it turned out, when I got into my treasury. That's why I wanted to check on the fame before. I was trying to remember how that could have worked, but yeah, a roll of 6 would have got me 90 with the win. And so even throwing 3 dice blocks with a re-roll. I do knock him over there, so I do get him down once, but don't have enough players left to go secure the ball and don't get a stun. So yeah, so maybe putting my tackle zone on the ball next to another player was maybe not the best idea, because it gives them a 1 dice block on this guy and they can knock him over, and now I've got no tackle zones on the ball. So if I'd so knockout as well for my important block Pestigor. If I'd have left him in that square he's now laid in, that would have been a dodge, and they'd have had to use their blitz there. Rather than using the blitz here for no reason like they always do. Now it's just lots of mopping up, and I'm basically trying to keep these 4 warriors to contain everybody here. If I can do that, there are far fewer players who can come and interfere over here, which means at some point in the next 3 turns I'd hoped I'd be able to pop this ball loose and have it over the line. But just to push there, re-rolled it to just to push again. And with fend as well, I can't even follow up and keep pressure on, so I have to get that rotter in to go do that. And I want to get this blitzer down, but can only be pushed over there. Should have used the rotter first there. Would have given me a second opportunity. If I'd only pushed, it would have given me a second opportunity. And I could have pushed or blocked away to there. So that's just, yeah, pushing only from there. I should have spied that. It makes it harder to get the ball because I'm pushing someone else in front of the ball carrier. And yeah, now starting to feel like I'm never going to get this ball, so I'm throwing warriors into it as well to try and limit this catcher coming to get involved just with more tackle zones. So more silly AI moves. That lineman doesn't need to be there at all. All the action is here. The whole game is being played in sort of these 18 squares at the moment. Don't need to throw extra bodies over there, especially if you're then just going to move someone else anyway. So blitzer, is that a... No, it's not an uphill one because they had that guy. No one had block there. So down with the turnover. So I've got a 2 dice block on the ball carrier, but it's just a rotter with no skills. So I think I'm looking at Was I looking at wanting this Pestigor to do it? Or I wanted this Pestigor to score. No, it's my wrestle one, so I wanted this Pestigor ideally to be going after the ball. But I think I'm going to have to use this one at this point. The stun there allows me to use that rotter, and now I'm using this. Or safer blocks up here first with my block warriors. The one who got the kill was it this guy? No, not that one. Yeah, this one here. So he was on 10-star player points at the beginning, but had both casualties in the game from that warrior. So it's 3 turns running I've had to use rerolls on this catcher to try and get them down, and still can't do it. At this point, the danger is starting to become, if I do knock him over, the ball could be going off the pitch and end up anywhere. And I've got 1 turn after this now. And then catcher is now over there, so I can get players over there, but it's not going to be easy to get. Well, to get anyone to get over there and then come and get the ball. Got to knock him over first, of course, as well. There's both down, yeah. So my final thing here, looking at the player I ideally want to score with, is the one in the end zone at the moment. So I may leave him there, and if I have to throw the ball, I've got someone I want to score who can do it. Otherwise, I'm looking at either having to dodge with one of these to get over here, but then it's these 2 players in the way, so I have to use my blitz on this guy. That has to happen. But to do that, I need to move these 2 out of the way. So I'm probably looking at maybe this rotter and this Pestigor to make the blitzes. No, because then he's still marked. So yeah, because he's got to go as well. So all the players who can really affect him, this catcher, are marked up, except this one who I want to score. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So with a go for it, he can blitz him, but then I need someone else to come and dodge and get the ball over the line. So was pretty good defence in the end by that team. And yeah, was it like 4 or 5 turns I spent trying to block this catcher. Only knocked him over once, and he just got the ball again next turn. So I've successfully freed up this Pestigor, that's what I was going for. So this is my wrestle one, so exactly the one I want to be going for the ball carrier. But dodge shows again, another reroll, so that's 4 rerolls this half, trying to get this catcher over, and only one of them was successful, and that was a 3 dice block. So at this point I know I can't score, so just trying to maximise what 2 dice blocks I can make. Two more here. And that is more or less the game. Yeah, I mean nothing happens in this last human turn now. But yeah, so finally got a win under my belt with this team, which was nice. It was against an AI coach, of course. There'll be another opponent next week. I played this one early because I was off work Friday last week. I could play the game then. Yeah, so got that done. A lot of games are still ongoing. I know the Goblin team I played last week had a really rough time of injuries. I think they had 2 deaths and 9 injuries or something in the game. I think they were playing... I don't remember who they were playing now. I'll have a look at the schedule. Yeah, so MVP landed on the Pestigor, who was already levelling. There's much to see in dice. Not a lot. I'm definitely not rolling many dice with this team, which is great. I think it's mostly like armour rolls. Not dodging very often, and actually they're all coming off somehow. You got to try and pick up the ball. 2 failures. I think I had to re-roll both times I picked up the ball. as far as I remember. Yeah, not going for it much. So yeah, it's armour and injury rolls are where most of these dice are coming from, which is kind of what you want. And then things that you have to do. So I'm happy with the low amount of dice I'm rolling still, and obviously forcing the humans to roll a lot more. They were making a lot more dodge rolls. That I probably wouldn't have done even with the human team. This is an orc team that goblin team played. Had a really rough time of it with injuries and stuff. I saw a screen cap of this earlier, but yes, that there. I'll go back and look at that game later on, I think, and see how it went. But you can kind of imagine orcs against goblins being a bit one-sided in that sort of physical game. But I know this was a good coach from playing them last week. So kind of surprising to see. Oh, Pogo are leveled up. What did they take? Player not found. Oh, died. Yeah, it's a player not found. So yeah, and the coach did mention the MVP landing there too. My team though, let's have a look. Because there's been one exciting development. Well, I had the guy level up, the Pestigore level up, and take wrestle. So I've now 2 wrestle Pestigores. They'll both be defensive players, sort of one as a sacker, one as a kind of deep lying sweeper type. The exciting development is the recruitment of a Beast of Nurgle. So I said I've got 90k in winnings, which I didn't see until I came into my team when the game was confirmed. And that was enough to afford a Beast of Nurgle, so that is now in. Look forward to giving that a go next time. Be nice to have some Mighty Blow on the team, some Strength 5. Tentacles is a really disturbing presence is an extension of what I kind of already do with my warriors, but yeah, Tentacles would be nice to have on to. I just want to stick it next to important players who want to be moving about. Stop doing that. And then maybe hitting people with them as well. So I have to. I've not done a lot of using Really Stupid before, but I'm aware of the way you have to be careful about when you act with Really Stupid players and making sure there's people next to them. Like I was doing against the goblins last week. If you're trying to clear players away from next to them, it can limit what they do. But it didn't work out for me with the goblins. But I'm aware that's what people will be trying to do against me. So probably need to keep player, probably a rotter handy to go stand next to him. That's us for another week. I don't think I'm in the league. Here am I? Oh no, I was in the league, so let's look at the standings. Leaderboard, that's what we're looking at. So I'm up to 9th with a win there. Don't know who I'll be playing next. We'll find out next week and see who it is. Maybe someone with a similar record, but I've already played this Lizardman team, so it won't be them again. I know this is a really tough Chaos team. I'd rather not play them, I don't think. Pretty high rating. My rating's shot up as well with hiring the Beast of Nurgle. I've got the full roster now that I want as well. I don't want any more players than I've got, so I may get another re-roll, and then I'll probably be trying to sink money into stadium advancements to keep my team value down. That's it. See you next week.